Welcome back to From the Chairman's Desk. Well, today we have not a visitor. She's been on here before, so I'm not even going to ask her who her people is. Everybody knows Councilor Pam Spaulding. She represents District 3 down in the great city of Lumbee. Miss Spaulding, how are you doing today?
I'm doing very well, thank you. And you, Chairman?
All right. Now, I kind of put you on the spot a while ago, but also, Councilor Spaulding is our treasurer of the tribe. She's in charge of all the money. And in fact, she's in our budget process right now. And how's that budget? How's it going?
I think this is the best year as far as our budget that I can remember. We have tentatively finalized all the budget except for two of our departments, which we will do September 1.
Good.
And hopefully, and then we have to approve it at our September council meeting.
Okay, so we'll be through in September. I'm learning. Yeah, I'm learning with y'all here today. Well, Pam, Councilor Spaulding, excuse me, there's two things I know me and you discussed and the tribal council discussed that we're so frustrated with. One of them is where can we find money to create jobs? Right? Maybe say three of them. The second one, where can we find money to help our elders and handicapped purchase medicine? And the third one is what we just talked to Mr. Goins about. And this is the most frustrating one for me. I just don't understand it. How can we find monies to have scholarships to help our kids go to school? And I know you're frustrated, and I know we'll talk about it, but let's just talk some. I mean, you just said you was planning to go to a seminar or something to find out some of these things.
Yes, pardon me. I'll be attending a workshop next month, as a matter of fact. And the focus of that workshop is how that we can find monies to do things for our people without using the funds we get from HUD. Because, as you know, HUD's funds are restricted.
Right.
But, you know, my thing is, if other Indian tribes can do it for their kids and their elders, then by all means, we need to do it for ours as well.
Right.
So this will be a resource that we hope that we can use to bring some of that back to our tribe. Well,
if we had federal recognition, we wouldn't be having this conversation. We'd have the money for BIA for scholarship. But since we're only state recognized, that presents a problem because we're restricted in the type grants we can go after. Now, what do you do? Well, the first thing you do, we've got to start building relationships. And by going to these conferences, seminars, that's where you start building relationships. You meet, network, and you meet different people. They give you an idea. You come back and you go after it. So, but brothers and sisters, I'm so frustrated. Let me give you an example of what I'm talking about. Young boy in my community. I've never seen anyone could paint or airbrush any better than this kid. I mean, it's just perfect. But the problem he's got, he never had an opportunity to go to school. And right now, he's walking inside the highway. Now, what if that kid had an opportunity to try to say, here's your scholarship to go to school? Wouldn't that been this is what we're talking about, reality. Like Mr. Goins was talking. Let's keep this thing real. We're talking about our people.
Well, Chairman, I'm pleased to announce, and you may not know this, but Ms. Audrey Hunt is chairperson of our Education and Culture Committee. This fall, probably around October, November, we hope to have our very first Lumbee tribe scholarships for our kids.
Okay.
And we're not doing it through grants. We are going to businesses. We are going to people in our community, our people that we love and know that are dedicated to finding monies to help our kids be educated. So that will be coming up. I'm sure Miss Audrey would love to come and talk to you about it, but we do have plans for that as we speak in the Education Committee.
Okay, let me ask you this. Did you hear what she just said? We're at the point we're going to be out here knocking on your door begging for money. Now, that's a sad situation to be in. I'm serious. I'm so proud of it. Don't get me wrong, but I'm so proud of you doing it. That's you doing what you got to do. But it's so sad to live in America. And we've got to knock on doors and beg for money for our kids to go to school. Now, that's not what it's about.
That's right.
Now, Mr. Godwin mentioned a while ago he was chairman of the foundation of RCC. And that's a foundation where we could establish a scholarship. And trust me, majority of our kids, that's where they go. They don't have the money to go to a 4-year scholarship, but they can go and get a good education. In fact, my grandson was able to sit on the computer for 2 summers, get free courses. He's out here at UNCP now, and he's just about through with his freshman year. So that's a year of education. Didn't cost him one thing through RCC, and a lot of our kids don't know that. Sit at home and take the course right there at home. So there's a lot of opportunities. And Pam, I reckon if that's where the majority of our kids is going to, wherever they want to go, we want to support them. Can we form a relationship with RCC? I know what your answer is going to be, yes.
Absolutely. As a matter of fact, you know, there's a different branch of the Lumbee tribe, and it's called LNTP. And that is our nonprofit organization, our nonprofit arm for the Lumbee tribe. A lot of people don't know it exists, but the reason it exists is so that we can get grants through that. You can't get grants in a for-profit situation. So we've done that so that we can try to get scholarships, but I will be bringing that to our next LNTP meeting to see if we can't get on board with this foundation for RCC.
So babies, what we're saying to you, at my age I can call them babies. You can't, can you? But no. I can. What we're saying to you is that, listen, if you want to go to school, you get good grades and you get out of high school and you want to continue, this tribe, your tribe, we're going to do everything in our power to make your dreams come true. Isn't that what it's about, Lucy?
That's right. And let me just point out another thing that we've mentioned in our education committee. There are kids out there, I'm one of them, who don't test well. So we're trying to formulate scholarships to help those as well, that they have the desire, and with just a little push they can do it. But we don't want to leave you out.
I'm glad you brought that. You know what, might be good on the education committee to have Audrey, have somebody from RCC to come in and discuss that program Mr. Godwin was talking about. Maybe we could put something up on our website. Well, here we go. Well, out of time again, but I'll get you back. As soon as you get that budget back, we'll
sure
get
you
back.
will.
So, now listen, we're talking about important thing, your education today, and how can the tribe get engaged. Now, when I say the tribe, I'm talking about you. You know what's our motto? It takes a tribe to raise a child. It takes the Lumbee tribe to raise a child. I want you to take that serious, churches. Listen, they'll take donations from churches for that foundation. Amen? And I can't think of a better way you could spend your money than to help a child get education, get a good start in life. So I reckon that ends the program, but we're going to have both of these folks back. And remember, we're going to have a series with Miss Godwin. And last week was able to go up to Rockfish to IEA. Miss Darlene, Supreme Court Justice Darlene Ransom was having a camp. Had 30 or 40 kids. She had lawyers in. She had state patrolmen in. She had judges. She had a heart doctor. Dr. Larry was there. Educators to give these kids a positive influence. And that's what it was about. Education. If they get that education, you can do that. So we'll be right back, and that segment's coming up next. And I hope you enjoy it. And we'll be right back from the chairman's desk.